In this session, we're going to talk about how to identify the relevant cash flows in investment projects. We're going to see the net present value and its application. But we're also going to see different project evaluation criteria, such as the IRR, internal rate of return, the payback, or the return or profitability index. Overall, by the end of this session, you'll be able to answer questions such as, which of two apparently profitable investment projects should my company choose? How can I ensure that my company allocates capital to projects that add value? And what criteria should we use to decide between different types of capital expenditures? How do we decide between different cost reduction projects? How do you evaluate brands? And also, we're going to see that you should pay attention to many different important items when you evaluate projects outside the company's core business. The general principles of capital budgeting are that you should invest in projects with higher returns than the minimum rate. And this minimum rate, remember, is the cost of capital that we've discussed before, the WACC. And if there is no project with positive NPV, the money should be returned to shareholders. Let's look now at the basic principles of discounting. What do you prefer, 100 now or 100 to be received in 2 years? It's obvious, you prefer 100 now. What do you prefer, 100 in 2 years guaranteed, or 100 in 2 years depending on whether it rains or not that year? Well, again, you prefer things without risk rather than with risk. So discounting and net present value takes care of these two items. One is time, the other is risk. So if we have an investment project with a cash flow in the first year of 120 and the weighted average cost of capital, WACC, is 10%, capital expenditure required is 100, should we go for it or not? So what we must do is add the present value of these two cash flows. So once you add the present value of these two cash flows, you get to a total of 9.09. That is the present value of this 1 year investment project. What if this is now a 2-year investment project where you still invest 100 and the cash flow in the first year is 60 and in the second year is 60 as well? So overall, you still get the same 120. You see, accounting-wise, this project is exactly the same. You invest 100 and get 120. But finance-wise, when we look at the time value of money and the timing of cash flows, it is not the same. Indeed, in these 2-year investment projects, once you add the present values, you can see how the NPV is going to be smaller. It's going to be equal to 4.13. So the core of NPV is given by this example. When you have a 1-year investment project, the NPV is 9.9. When this project with exactly the same cash flows takes place over 2 years, the NPV goes down to 4.13. And why is that? Because of the two important elements of time and risk. We prefer things sooner rather than later, and also longer-term cash flows are riskier than shorter-term cash flows. The NPV does that automatically without us even thinking too much about that.